Good morning, everybody. Everything new under the sun. Matthew chapter 24 speaks of the last days, the beginnings of sorrows, and a lot of things that we would expect to see, and do expect to see, and indeed see all around us. Many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye not be troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places. Wars and rumors of wars. Here is an example of wars and rumors of wars. This is Alex Jones territory. Watch reporter shred admin Spock's over Russian false flag. So the U.S. Has come out and said basically there's going to be a false flag event, a staged staged false explosion with corpses, actors depicting mourners, and images of destroyed military equipment. This is what apparently in a CNN interview or whatever, this is what Biden administration intelligence person or at least a spokesperson came out and said the intelligence community was warning against. So staged false flag, crisis actors, images of destroyed locations. So what does this also mean? Well, straight propaganda. This in order to justify a military invasion of Ukraine. And this is ramping up because I guess the Biden administration is in trouble economically. Lowest ratings, of pretty much any president, as far as I understand. He must be below Trump now. I'm not sure. But it's interesting. Again, looking at this here, Lee challenged Price, saying the State Department had presented no evidence that Russia had actually created a crisis actor video, and insisting that he wouldn't be satisfied with administration's claims. Now, the whole Freedom Convoy 2022 in Canada, the reason Prime Minister Trudeau doesn't speak with the protesters is because he says, well, they're a bunch of conspiracy theorists. And isn't it interesting that the U.S. government spokesperson is coming out and saying, there's going to be a false flag event. There's going to be actors depicting mourners. There's going to be crisis actors. This is all complete conspiracy. And, it's a pretext for an invasion. So I think John Holler, as he always puts it, the left always accuses you of what they're doing themselves. And they're conspiracy theorists. They're causing division. They're causing rumors of wars. You shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, and that's exactly what we see. But the end is not yet. This comes. That's the reason that the end is not yet is because this comes prior to the Antichrist figure, the world leader. Remember, the world has to be in an uproar. The world has to be in such a precarious position that they quickly accept a world leader, an Antichrist figure. Now they won't call him the Antichrist. He won't be known as the Antichrist. They won't recognize him as some sort of Satan possessed person. But a world leader will come and say, you know what? I'm going to save you from all these things. The world, the citizens of the world are not going to accept this world leader if everything is awesome in their sovereign countries. The world has to be in such a horrible, horrible state, famine, pestilence, all sorts of things happening, for them to accept or to give up their sovereignty and their currencies, their sovereign currencies. The world has to be in such a bad state to convince them to do that. And so we have basically U.S. intelligence coming out and providing basically not backed by a lot. But suggesting with tinfoil hats on that there's going to be crisis actors and complete propaganda and staged events. Now, I wouldn't put it past Russia to do that sort of thing. But regardless, when the left talks about the right being conspiratorial and tinfoil hat wears, then you got to admit that they absolutely do it as well. So wars and rumors of wars come first. Then nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines, pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places. So I want to take a look at this article. Dwindling French gas stockpiles stoke fears of winter blackouts. So because there is not a lot of fuel because of the crisis with Ukraine, there are significant shortages of natural gas, general fuel of any sort, because people are going to be hoarding it. And if you look at this chart here below, natural gas prices have been spiking because of the conflict. Ever since through 2000 up to current, basically. French national gas supply operator warned that French stockpiles are much lower at this point in the year than they have been during past years, and as a result, they run the risk of potentially being depleted before the winter is up. Now, the economy works on supply and demand. If you have lots of supply and not a lot of demand, then the price goes down. If you have a lot of demand and lack of supply, well, the price of that commodity, whatever it is, increases. And that's what's happening here. It says we'll probably be close to zero toward the end of March, and we remain vigilant on that topic. It's the most precarious French gas inventories since arrived at their lowest seasonal level since 2018. Inventories are now at their lowest level since 2018, when the country ended the heating season with storage at a record low 3%. So there's no stockpiling of storage here, you'll note. Basically, they get their energy, natural gas, oil, whatever it is, in this case, natural gas. They use it up over the winter, and then they need to be resupplied. There's no existing massive stockpile where they can kind of purchase it well ahead of time and use it up, over 2 years or something, for example. There's no extra emergency capability, really, there. So any disruption in geopolitical situations or the gas flow are massive problems for Europe. Now that extends, of course, to the U.S. and the famines, the fertilizer plant explosion that just occurred in the U.S. These are things that are happening that are going to affect the price and the cost of food. These are compounding. Then you have the pandemic and the lockdowns, and now you have the trucker convoys and the slowdown there. The supply chain is very precarious. Notice that world leaders, especially in Canada, are dividing the public as well. Bible in the last days speaks that man will be against man, will rise up. Look at this: they shall deliver you and be afflicted, deliver you up to be afflicted. These are the beginnings of sorrows. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. At some point, you're going to need to take a stand for Christ, and you're going to be hated by the world. Do they hate all the anti-mandate people? They absolutely do. And then many shall be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. Is that happening in the world? Is man standing up and hating each other? Are there divisions? There's deep divisions in the United States. Almost 50, the split is almost 50-50, kind of the right and the left. And the divisiveness is increasing in Canada as well between the Conservatives and the Liberals. There's a great split, and there's increasing hatred and anger on both sides. There's no more is there a spirit of cooperation. Prime Minister in Canada has said he's not going to even talk with the protesters. He's not even going to try and understand their point of view because he thinks they're full of hate. Well, again, they're offended. They're going to betray one another. They hate one another. They're not willing to talk to one another. And this is increasing. And because sin abounds, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many will wax cold. This means you're not going to effectively love your neighbor. When hard times comes, it's going to be every man for himself, and that means there's going to be violence because they're going to, gang up against the group of people they feel that aren't on the right side of history. But he that shall endure till the end shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And then it speaks about the abomination of desolation. And this goes right with the Matthew 5, chapter 5 verses that I spoke of. We are the light of the world. We are the ones in these last days where time is closing out. The Lord's soon return is near, but there's going to be a whole pile of things that come into effect first. And we are the light during this time. We're shining the light. We're saying, look, there's a better answer. Love one another. Be kind to one another. Find Jesus Christ, because the Bible says these things are coming to pass. The Bible is being fulfilled before your eyes. Look at the news. Look at the division across society. Look at the two different sides. One side hates the other side, and there's no cooperation. There's no talking between them. There's no agreement. There's no coming together to work out the issues. They just hate one another, and the political divisions are massive, and these countries are falling apart. U.S., Canada, great division. And even with Omicron effectively being the end of the pandemic, the Liberals in Canada are still holding out and saying, no, we need mandates, we need all this. They have no recognition that this pandemic is, for all intents and purposes, over. And so I don't know how they can save face at this time. They dug in their heels about it. And this is going to cause further division. And I believe this is the devil. This is Satan driving a wedge between people. Those who believe they're on the right side of history, and those who are fighting for freedoms and for what they see as right. And so Satan's causing great division. And this plays right into what the Bible speaks of in Matthew and other chapters. Love of many shall wax cold. There's going to be great violence. There's going to be great division in the last days. This is why you need to be prepared. Get your heart right with Jesus. Stockpile a little bit of stuff. Be prepared for shortages. They are coming. They are on the way if they're not already. Get some chickens. Get some extra cans of food. You never know when a natural disaster could come along, and certainly that's been happening on the East Coast, Canada, and United States this last month. But more than that, when supply chains, when human-caused issues are coming, it's even worse. And we're just in the kind of the build-up. We're in the run-up to a great famine and the four horsemen of the apocalypse riding. It's going to peak, climax during the first half of a 7-year period. And I believe we're very close to the starting of that 7-year period. And in fact, the revealing of the man of sin, the son of perdition, the Antichrist figure. I think he's going to come out of all this worldwide chaos and anger of the pandemic and the uprising of the citizens. He's going to come out of it and say, you know what? I'm going to bring world peace. I'm going to make everything awesome again. And the whole world will say, yes, finally, amen. We're going to accept this guy, and he's going to make the world right again from all these wars, rumors of wars, the pandemic, the supply chain issues, the economic trouble. He's going to fix it all. And he's going to create peace in the Middle East to top it all off for a period of 7 years. And the whole world will fall for this. So if you're a Christian, if you read the end of the book, you're going to be paying attention. And right up until the time we're raptured, whenever that is, you're going to be saying, you know what? I see the world. I see it's heading towards a situation where we need a world government to fix all the mess we're in and to bring us together as a global community. This is what's happening, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll leave it there. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your generous gifts and donations. I appreciate that. And I'll have some videos. If you stay to the end, I've got a new, not a new, but I've got a used Case 446, which is a garden tractor, which is one of those things to look at in these last days, to be able to make a garden, to help around the homestead, to provide for your family. So I'm going to do a video with that, and that'll be a kind of an interesting, different subject on the channel, and we'll take a look at that. It's a 1982 unit, which would make it almost 40 years old, a 40-year-old tractor. But you can get these things to help you till gardens and to work around your place, and also it could be equipment used in a time of trouble to do work for other families who maybe need some heavy equipment to do something like that. So there's just different options provided by getting a garden tractor, or even just buying shovels. And I bought shovels as well. I bought 3 new shovels. so that when hard times come, you can turn the earth. You can do some hard labor and earn some money, earn some cash, or simply do some hard work. Maybe a neighbor's having trouble with the septic, so you take your shovels over there and they'll give you some potatoes or something for the work that you're doing. When hard times come, you're going to need to have some tools and to be able to barter and to have some skills in these last days to get by. When the economy does fail, it's going to take a complete day's wages to pay for a loaf of bread. So this is what we know is spoken of in the Bible, and this is coming down the pipe very quickly, folks. Be prepared. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.